Hey, how's it going? My name is Giulio Sciorio. I'm a commercial photographer. I've been shooting for 8 years full-time, and my specialty is portraits for editorial and advertising. And probably my specialty is blending a hybrid of still motion and sound together. I got started in photography by accident. I think like a lot of people did. It was around 1993. A good friend of mine was killed in a car accident, and I inherited his camera. The weird part about it was that we never had any pictures together. So it was that time when I realized how powerful a photograph can be. And we never had a picture together. So I guess in a way something kind of snapped in my head, and I started to just dive in. I got every book I could on photography. I got the Time Life series of photography, which is a giant set of books, and taught myself everything I know: film, processing, exposure, composition. I think in a way I was trying to replace a void that cannot be filled. At the same time, try to figure out how was it that through my friend's death I got this camera when I never knew he was actually into photography. I was always afraid to shoot full time. I was afraid being rejected. I was afraid of all the fears that I think everybody else has, you know, dealing with the money, you're going to be broke, and all these things. And I had to work through all those fears, and I still do daily, because they're all true. 2005, I was kind of high up in the food chain in corporate America, and I just had enough of that life. It was not for me. So after being invited to go full time by my boss, who actually fired me, I moved to downtown Phoenix at the time, where I think the university is now, and started shooting full time. And I had no idea how to market. I didn't even know what marketing photography was, because I was thinking, like, who the hell's going to pay me to do something that I just love to do? So what I did is I started collecting every magazine I could find, looking into masthead, see who the art director is, and the producers, and the art buyers and whatnot. And I just started calling everybody. So how I started marketing was that I made a list, and kind of like a workout schedule. Monday, Wednesday, Friday I'd call. Tuesday, Thursday I would email those same people. The next week I would flip it. Tuesday, Thursday I'd call. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday I would email. I figured at some point you're either going to tell me to go to hell or to bring in your book. And fortunately, a client, Village Voice Media, asked me to bring in my book. And I brought in my book. It was this crummy little book in plastic pages, 8.5 by 11, printed off a $100 printer. But I landed a cover out of the gate, and haven't looked back since. One of the most important things in my career, at least recently, was moving away from a still image to blending a hybrid of still motion and sound together. That was also like getting into photography. It was also kind of happened. It was like a trial by fire. So the economy took a crap in 2009, and there I was without any work for 6 months, even after winning a bunch of Addies. And I had this DSLR in my hand, and I started shooting video with it. I had no idea what the hell I was doing, but it came out really cool. And I know it was a big change for a lot of directors and producers and photographers, and we all kind of try to figure out what the hell was going on. What I had found with my DSLR is, like, I liked it. It was very challenging to shoot video, to make it look like my stills. And when I had a creative block for 2 years, seriously 2 years I didn't shoot, I decided to pick up a small toy camera, a little mirrorless micro four thirds camera, and I started shooting with that, and kind of got me into photography again. So my rebirth was with a $400 camera you could buy like at a Best Buy or something. And what I'd found is that the quality had come full circle. So pretty much any camera you could get would take a good photo, but what can I do that's more than a photo? How can I separate myself from other photographers? And that was to add motion, bring that back into the mix with my work. So I started a blog called Small Camera Big Picture, and that is a blog to talk about my my adventure into small cameras, into multimedia, and trying to, at the same time, trying to inspire others to think differently about photography, to come at it from the creative standpoint first. What do I need to do to create this vision? And then if it's a small camera, then so be it. And for me, it's a small camera all the time. I love shooting with small cameras. They're fun. No one thinks that you're shooting professionally, and shooting stills of motion at the same time has been awesome, because the reality is that we live in a world of iPads and iPhones, and you may be shooting with a Phase or a D800 or an iPhone or whatever, but at the end of the day it all ends up on an iPhone. So for me, I guess I kind of cut to the chase with my tools and decided to go, for me, smaller, and smaller was a smarter way to shoot. When I first started shooting, I landed my first cover, but you know, $500 doesn't pay the bills, and that's what the going rate for the weeklies were in Phoenix at the time, and I'm sure, unfortunately now they're probably about the same. So I had to figure out what to do to eat. I blew through my savings in in 3 months, and actually ended up on welfare. So there I was, went from an executive to being in the food stamp line. So I had to figure out what to do. I started shooting food, and I started shooting food because I needed to eat. And with editorial clients, there's usually not a budget for a food stylist. So you are the food stylist. So I would purposely handle the food in front of the chef at the shoot. So at the end of the shoot, they would say, "Oh, you know, why don't you just take it home?" And it didn't matter when I was shooting them, because I would eat it. And I hate seafood, but I ate a lot of seafood. That was probably one of the most challenging times of my life, just trying to sleeping on the floor in my studio, and trying to make pretend that it was a studio when it really was just a rundown old bungalow, and eating whatever was available, and just basically shooting anything under the sun just to kind of get going. That was probably my most challenging time. Advice for those that are starting out. Well, keep in mind that photography now is more of a commodity than a craft, so you need to be a photographer and something else. So you could be a photographer and you make money educating other people. You can be a photographer and a writer or a DJ, whatever. The tools are becoming so smart that the tech is doing the heavy lifting. When the heavy lifting is no longer there, what's there? It's creativity, it's your vision. If you're selling your vision first, then there really is no competition in the market. It's just you. Someone wants to hire Giulio? Great, hire me. But there is no other competition for me, because no one else has my look and my feel and my vision. That said, you still got to be, of course, you got to keep into account what the threshold of pricing is for your local market, if you are a local photographer, and your national market as well. So that's where networking through groups like Photogroup or ASMP or PPA, any of those groups, WPPI, that's where you want to rely on your other network of professionals. Don't buy into that you need to have the latest gear to get a good image, because just think about what we had even 10 years ago. If you were to have to shoot with that today, would you be able to? I think you would, if you are focusing on your vision first. So that's, I guess, is the best advice I can give somebody. My tattoos. So these are some of my tattoos. This is Inspire, and that's an aperture, and that's Create. The tattoos, I got the Create and Inspire when I redefined who I am. So I left corporate America and I started shooting, but I was not that person anymore. I transformed myself, and so what am I going to live for? What is possible for me in my life? And that was to be inspired and to inspire others, and to facilitate creation with others, and to create myself. And so basically I recreated myself, and that's based off of Create and Inspire, the ideas. My logo is based off of that as well. That's basically where they came from. Now, where the aperture came, I got that one recently, a few years ago, when I started shooting with the small cameras again, because I essentially redefined myself as a photographer, and also rediscovered my love for creating and for breaking the rules. Because really with photography, there are no rules. Does it look cool? Does it sell? Are you satisfied? Do you sleep good at night? Then it's good.